True. And I think as Indians, I'm not saying only specifically Indians, but we can talk about Indians because we are quite uh, we like to have that relationship face to face, kind of build it over a period of time. And we also sort this out because we need a lot of confirmation before doing anything, and specifically when it comes to finance, right? To have that trust that you just spoke about, it's quite vital. But I agree to the point that also how now things are being built, even apps or even institutes which are giving these services, they are also thinking a lot on building this trust on a digital platform by being there and giving a very good customer service, because that is, at the end of the day, will play a very vital role. So just moving on, before to the fun segment or of this particular conversation, one last question,
Sure.
on the serious topic that we are discussing is that what do you see is the future of investment and financial services for the Gen Zs, or for the upcoming age group, and how can investment firms prepare for the future?
See, I think it's again very tough to be very definitive about it, but clearly there is going to be somewhere meeting in the middle of having a hybrid thing. And two is, I think, which will means both having the digital options to transact and saying, hey, listen, can I just do everything on my own? I know what I'm doing, and to a completely managed service where people will say, listen, I don't really know what it is. Can you ensure all of it is taken care of? And both of those will exist in all age categories, not just the millennial or Gen Z. And two is, I think, as each category evolves and grows older, see, we all go through that phase, at 23, 24, first job kind of a mindset. We're like, I
Correct.
can do this, right? I've studied, I'm an MBA finance. I know how to pick stocks. But maybe at 30, you realize, okay, personal finance as a whole is not just picking stocks. I need
Mm.
somebody to help me with my insurance, you're right? I need to understand loans. And I'm thinking of taking a home loan. Now, how do I, go through that process? And, is it just look at, and because the institutions will always keep evolving and, it's not, can't just compare a teaser 6 month discounted home loan rate, and then the
Mm.
rate goes up by 3%. So your total cost of owning this house over 30 years will be remarkably different. But the
Correct.
advertisement would be saying, hey, take your home loan at 8%. And there's another brand which says take your home at 9%, and people are like, oh, that's too expensive. So
Mm.
I think, the evolve people will keep evolving, we'll move as we age in what we want from certain brands and what we want from certain kind of financial institutions. And definitely it helps that if you catch them kind of young, you tend
Mm.
to stick with those brands. I personally have the same. My first savings account is still maintained today. I've found no reason to change it, right? So yeah, obviously, people do appreciate a lifetime value of a customer and will build it, but at the same time, customers will get smarter in terms of what are their options. Take credit cards as an example. uh, First salary, but the first time you get a paycheck, yes, suddenly the world of credit opens up. But maybe,
Mm.
5 years later, you'll realize, no, I need a different kind of a card basis what I do. I travel a lot, so I need, say, more travel oriented card. Or maybe, I don't need a credit card itself. And, I don't really use these points, right? As in the sense, I don't travel, I don't eat out regularly to earn those kind of points. So I'm happy with a basic card, which is more like
Hard.
in case of an emergency, I can swipe it. So I think the evolution of the customer is going to be there, and hence, brands or organizations need to understand that, it can't be that what you've been doing 5 years back will keep working. But the core elements won't change. They have to
One thing.
trust you. You need to be accurate with the data that you show them in terms of what they own or what is it. Basically, some of the basic stuff will not go out of fashion. But on top of it, and two is, I think, we are getting into, it's never going to be like a winner take all. Someone may choose, okay, I'll do this with this. For example, I know people today who have their good so-called long-term investing with a certain broker, and then they do a trading in another brokerage account, two different places, right? And that's their way of playing it in their mind, saying this is long term, this is short term, and hence brands can pick those markets up, right?
So, makes sense. Makes sense. So, Karthik, do you think like it would be right for me to say that keep it simple, keep it transparent, and
Yeah,
that's when people are going to trust you,
perfect. I think
to come and
you nailed it.
invest through you, isn't it?
Yeah, see, I think if people trust you, and the transparency is a very important point, and I think at the end of the day, even people who are on the other side, they run a business or they run a service, and they are not saying it should all be free. So there is this
Hmm.
misplaced thing in the market where it should be free, or you're a big company. For example, let's take index funds. Oh, it should be so super duper cheap. It need not be super duper cheap. I mean, that's a business that we are running, right? And we have costs. So everything can't be at 1 paisa and 2 paisa, right? Or why is this expense ratio? Why is a distributor charging a commission? He should do it free. I'm saying every profession you have the option. You
Correct.
can today, log on to Google, and if you are interested, find out how to do surgery on your own. But or you have to go to a hospital and accept what the costs are to get your
Wonderful.
surgery done in an hospital. I think my pet peeve is, I guess, personal finance has been made that listen, everybody should be able to do it on their own. I think it's everybody should be aware of it. See, you don't
Correct.
have to know how to pick stocks on your own. If you're a lawyer, focus on your core, which
Core
is
job.
the legal side of it, right? There's no need for you to learn how to pick stocks and how to file your returns. Yes, you need to know that filing your returns on time is important. Yes, you
Important.
need to know these are ways to save tax. And yes, I need to know I need to maintain records so I can give my CA at the end of the year the relevant document so that his job is or her job is easier. But
True.
beyond that, why you expecting a lawyer to understand Section 84C subclause this and that? I mean, you get a CA to do it for you. So I think that awareness will only build, as you said, if there is transparency, people know what is the value that you bring, and for that, okay, I'm happy to pay or not pay basis of value that you show. Gone are
Correct.
the days of just collecting a fee because you're sitting in the middle, or for physically taking document from A to B and B to C. The digital
Hmm.
has got rid of it. Today, sitting in any part of the world,
You
you
can.
can acquire customers in another part of the world. So you
True.
don't really need to physically to send, a form to someone's house and pick it up. So
True.
I think simple stuff, transparent stuff is the way to build.
Great. So before we end the session, Karthik, we
Sure.
have a fun segment question for you.
Okay.
So
Right.
if you had to describe today's customer evolving expectations in finance and investment using a movie or a TV show as a reference, what would it be and why?
Okay, that's tough. I think, I mean, if I had to use a word, I just say they are unrealistic. I can't think of a movie, I think, but a lot of them are unrealistic with both the return expectation from the products that they buy and the speed at which things should move. And I think a lot of it is driven by the fact that their exposure to some of this started probably in a once in a lifetime bull run. A lot of these investors were not investors pre-COVID. Somewhere at lockdown and sitting at home for 20, 30 days suddenly brought them into the market. So they have
Hmm.
only seen like a one-way ride for a fair bit of time, and hence they expect stock markets only work that way. So I think unrealistic is a way, or a single word to describe today's kind of audience who wants everything much faster than it actually can happen on a consistent basis.
Amazing, amazing, great. So Karthik, what we'll do is we'll give our viewers quickly 10 to
Sure.
15 seconds to understand if they have any questions for us, and if it
Okay.
pops up, we will take a couple of questions. If not,
Okay.
then we will move forward. So, guys, if you have any questions out there for our speaker, Mr. Kartik, please do put them in the comment section, and we will take it up. So just before that, Karthik, before people start putting questions if they have any, uh, how do you kind of tell people also, or users also, that this is trustworthy? How can a person just trust when things have become so digital today?
I think even in the digital world, you can build trust, right? I think the first level is to set the right expectation. If you're telling customers who sign up on your app that I will double your money in a week's time, you're not being honest, right? You're not setting them up for the right experience. But to see today, a lot of good companies invest their time, energy, and effort in educating and building just the awareness, right? I'm not
Hmm.
here to sell you a product. I just want you to be aware of 5 topics. You see this video, you see another video, you see another video. At some point of time, you go like, okay, this person is quite knowledgeable as far as this goes, and that takes time to build trust. And again, see, I think you have to draw that line where some of it is fake and just done it because your marketing team says, sir, an authentic blog post gets us more views. So please, can you come on TV and say, I had no
Please.
job, but I did an SIP, and today I have a bungalow. So that, you have to draw that line of what is authentic, what works. But yeah, people will quickly be able to cut through because there are enough other people out there to guide you, right? I mean, today in this whole cancel kind of culture, you say something, there are 5 others who would be like, hey, listen, don't trust that brand. Listen, they are not good. And so I think, when you do that level of genuine building of the product service that you offer, you should definitely continue building it. And at the end of the day, people will come in once you build that level of
Build
trust.
the
And
trust.
different levels. I mean, there's an insurance play out there which sends a newsletter every morning. I know we don't take brands on this,
True.
but you just build a level of trust by telling, listen, give us a call, we'll chat to you about insurance. If you want to then buy it through me or you go buy it through somebody, but I'll give you the right answer. And that, eventually there are a lot of good people out there who will come back to whoever has helped. And not everybody here is looking to take advice from you and go run
Hmm.
and execute somewhere else.